Okay, so that worked. I was in the mikvah. I didn't film there because people are in different stages of undress, and that would have been, I'm sure they would have objected. In some case, in some time, I hope that I will be able to upload some videos explaining more about the mikvah. And I did have an event there. You need to pay to get in. There's an automated machine, and it cost 10 shekels, and I put my 10 shekels in the machine, but it did not register. The machine apparently is not working, and it took my money but didn't let me in. So I needed to squeeze in with another person who has a subscription. He has a chip that lets him in, and the two of us squeezed together through the revolving entrance door, which was fun. Anyway, so I'm out of the mikvah, and now I'm walking towards the Kotel HaMa'aravi, the Western Wall. Behind me you can see some construction of another synagogue that was destroyed by the Jordanians when they occupied Jerusalem, and is now being rebuilt. The Tiferet Israel synagogue. And I am walking down towards, I'm in the Jewish quarter, I am walking down towards the Western Wall. And I'll add some Western Wall to this video. Now I'm going to flip over the camera so you can see what I am seeing. Here you can see some construction that is going on. If I'm not mistaken, this is a building construction that's going on for the Western Wall elevator. They are installing an elevator that will allow disabled people to reach the Western Wall from the Jewish quarter. Currently, there is access for wheelchairs to the Western Wall through Rehov Hagai. That's the road that we walked on earlier, and with vehicles from the Shar HaAshpot, from the Dung Gate, is another place where cars can come in, and people with approval, permits can enter the Western Wall with cars, which is a special for people who have a disability and need to access with their wheelchairs. So all of the construction that we see going on here has to do with the Western Wall elevator. We're walking down the steps from the Jewish quarter towards the Western Wall. You can see everything is boarded up because there is some major construction going on here, which is always a pretty amazing endeavor to build in the old city of Jerusalem and around the old city of Jerusalem, where there is so much archaeology and it all needs to be preserved and protected. So it's not just building a major building or whatever might be going on, but it's also building it in such a way that will not affect the archaeological treasures that are underground and possibly unexpected. We might not know what to expect there. Here we can see the Western Wall Plaza, and you can see all of the vehicles ahead of us have all entered the gate here, so they've received special permission. This parking area is reserved for the security forces. We can see some police and border police, but brides and grooms can receive permit to enter, and people with disability and special VIP guests can receive permits to enter this gate into the Western Wall Plaza, and they would be coming in through the Dung Gate, which is the southern gate, just south of the Western Wall. Here we can see the Western Wall. We're going to walk in to that area and walk around a bit there. And then later on in another video, we're going to go up the Temple Mount through this security area. The structure that we're looking at the end of this bridge is a police checkpoint where visitors to the Temple Mount go through a security check for entering the Temple Mount. And the Temple Mount is only open to non-Muslim visitors at certain hours between 7 and 11 in the morning, and then again for about an hour in the afternoon. The time in the afternoon or the midday changes between summer and winter, so always check before you come to the Temple Mount. Here we're walking down the steps, and you can see here the city has placed a very nice map of the old city of Jerusalem. And here you can see that we are at the Western Wall Plaza. We're right here. We're coming down these steps to the Western Wall Plaza. And we're going to go through one of the security gates. There are 4 entrances into the Western Wall Plaza. We're entering the one that is on the southern side of the Jewish quarter. I'm going to turn off the camera for the security and turn it back when we get back. Now we can see where we were standing on the steps coming down from the Jewish quarter, and we're now in the parking area within the Western Wall Plaza. And there's a lot of construction going on here as well. Above the Western Wall we can see the Dome of the Rock, which is on the Temple Mount. And if you would like to explore more on the Temple Mount, then check out the next video that I am about to film. When I am done here, I'm going to go up to the Temple Mount. Today we have a tour for tour guides with an organization that encourages Jews to visit the Temple Mount, and they're going to give us a special tour there. Here you can see we're looking at the Western Wall now, and when we spin around we see this new building. This is totally new, it's not even complete yet. It's called the Liba Building, which is part of the Western Wall Heritage Fund. You see the sign on the building, it says the Western Wall Heritage Center, and there you can see the Netiv Aryeh Yeshiva and the police station. Above the police station there's an observation terrace, and below is the entrance to the Western Wall tunnels. The Western Wall tunnels is a fascinating archaeological experience that takes us from this corner of the Western Wall all along the Western Wall. The entire span of the Western Wall is 488 meters, but this area that we see in front of us is only about 60 or 70 meters. This is only a small segment of the entire Western Wall. The larger part of the Western Wall is hidden behind the Muslim quarter, and the archaeological dig in the Western Wall tunnels along the Western Wall from this point underneath the Muslim quarter all the way to the northern corner of the actual Western Wall. Okay, here we're entering the men's section of the Western Wall, and it seems, well, the sign says that masks are required, but there's no attendee here who is seeing that people put on the masks. But still, in areas that require a mask, you could get a fine if you do not put on a mask. So I see that there are a lot of people who are here without masks. I guess it's a gamble. I don't know if they they could expect to get a fine. Maybe there are less. Maybe there are less people going around giving out fines at this time. Today is Sunday morning. On Monday and Thursday and on Shabbat there are bar mitzvah. Young men come here to read the Torah scroll for the first time, but it's surely a joyous experience for people who haven't visited the Western Wall to come and gather with their relatives and friends and to pray here at the Western Wall of the Temple Mount. We're going to walk right up to the wall and see there is a custom where people write notes and they roll them up and place them in the cracks of the wall. Here you can see all of these notes that many people from all around the world come. Many come here to pray, and many write their prayers on notes and place them in the cracks of the wall. There's a stand here where people can come to put on tefillin. Did I speak about tefillin in one of the videos? No, I spoke about the tzitzit and the blue string in the tzitzit. Here there's a stand for the Ministry of Diaspora Affairs and the Western Wall Heritage Foundation, and you can come here to get a note if you need one, to write a note to place in the cracks of the Western Wall. And here there's a stand with kippah, which white kippot, for people who need a head covering when they come here they come to pray here at the Western Wall. In the Jewish tradition, it is customary to cover your head in prayer. And here we're in the Western Wall Plaza, but we're outside of the prayer area, and you can see that the prayer area is divided into two sections. We have the men's section on the left and the women's section on the right. In the Jewish tradition, in the Orthodox Jewish tradition, the synagogue is divided. Men and women pray in separate sections. And in the progressive synagogues, which is the Reform and Conservative, in the Jewish community, there are mixed prayers. And there's a whole debate going on in the Jewish community regarding the prayer area at the Western Wall, because many Jewish people from... Just a second, I'm going to flip this around. There is a debate in the Jewish community regarding the prayer area at the Western Wall, because many Jews from abroad, particularly from the United States and from Europe, pray in synagogues that are mixed, men and women together, and they also ask for an area where they can pray together, men and women. So there's another area here that has been designated for the mixed prayer. It's called Azrat Yisrael, and we'll visit there in another tour.